What could bring back the movie industry? It just feels like, at least to me, a lot of us have gotten really comfortable watching movies at home, including new releases, because you can just do that now.
Well, you could, and a lot of people are, but this past weekend, for example, Wonder Woman 1984 opened with almost $17 million while simultaneously available on HBO Max. That says a lot. That says that people could have sat at home on their couch, but a lot of people chose to go out to the movie theater. And I think that was a really encouraging and great sign for the movie theater business, for sure.
All right, Paul, I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it. I know it's on streaming, but I haven't seen it. I want to talk to you about a movie, Bad Boys for Life. You sent us some research. Really strong box office opening for that back in January. Is there any movie this January that could come anywhere near that kind of performance and pull people back into the theaters?
I mean, it's going to take a while. I think until capacity rises. Right now, according to our Comscore data, theaters are open in North America at about 35% of those. They're at limited seating capacity. Bad Boys for Life helped kick off this year, and it feels like forever ago when that movie opened. It did great business, and in fact, January and February were so strong, we were running ahead of last year, which in North America wound up at $11.4 billion, and globally, a record $42.5 billion. All the while, streaming was going on in 2019 as well, and yet the movie theater business was thriving, and then because of the pandemic, everything came, like you said, to a screeching halt. March 20 was the day when theaters essentially shut down, and drive-ins took over. According to our data, the drive-in represented in February like 1.5% of box office, and in March and April, 80 and 90%. So drive-in's another example of a way people found, they were literally driven, I should say, and they found a way to see movies on that big screen in a communal environment. So that, again, that's telling us that people want to go, but they have to feel safe and secure. 2021, I think, could be a huge year, but it's going to take some time. And then I think 2022 is the year that things really get back to some sort of normalcy, if you will.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I saw your stats about drive-in movies. I thought that was fascinating. There's not many drive-in movies here in the Northeast. They're kind of few and far between. I'm not sure about other parts of the country. But that growth for drive-in movies, is that sustainable as we see that de-urbanization trend, in your opinion?
Well, that's really interesting because the drive-in was around last year, but we weren't really reporting on it because then this year we did because they became so huge. I would like to see that come back. I think that's a great way to get people, feeling good about going to the movies. They'll go to the drive-ins, but again, people are also going to brick and mortar theaters where available. Remember, this is an industry that was really sidelined through no fault of its own back in March and had to scramble. And we saw so many movies move to the latter part of 2020. And now 2021 has James Bond, Black Widow, and Mission Impossible 7, Jungle Cruise, and all these big movies. So we're hoping that with the vaccine, as things carry on, that pandemic situation is handled, that then that pent-up demand will manifest itself in people going back to movie theaters because the business definitely needs to have that boost in 2021.
So, Paul, I think the question that we all want to know is what can give movie theaters that spark? Now, there was a movie that came out in August that normally I think would have generated a lot of excitement, The New Mutants. It's not a Marvel movie. It's by 20th Century Fox, but it's that superhero theme that seems to get people excited. And it did relatively well because of the pandemic, but not great. So is there a genre that can really pull people back in? Is it kids' movies? Is it superhero movies? Is it just a drama? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of everything because I think it's really about just having brand new movies. That's what people want. No matter the genre, I think people want to go back. Something new and exciting. Of course, superhero movies can do that. You've got Top Gun on 4th of July, of 2021. That will get me back in the theater. I think for a lot of people, they just want to go and have a great time with their family or friends in that communal environment, the movie theater. And once again, once the pandemic, once it's under control in a really big way, then it'll take some time. I think people are going to want to go back. We've seen that in the data over and over again with the drive-ins, with movies like Wonder Woman and Crude's doing very well, better than expected, considering that people have all this great content at home. It's a click away on your couch, yet people are finding a way to go back to the movie theater. So I'm very optimistic about the future, but it is going to take some time. And there will, of course, be changes that may sustain for the long term, like dynamic windowing and other types of release models for movies, but the movie theater will be back.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.